Can you guess what I'm making? I should have got it a little bit earlier because I think it might be a dead giveaway. But it's the second one, so I can actually show you. A little tiny Milwaukee bucket. Milwaukee, or not Milwaukee buckets, but those little buckets are all the rage right now. And you can get them at Lowe's. I've seen them at Menards. I'm sure Home Depot has them too. But I'm making my little Milwaukee one. The color isn't perfect for Milwaukee, but it looks cool nonetheless. Here is one of the expenses of having a CNC like this one. And what I was surprised with is I just bought these. They were 20% off, $21. Look at the price difference. Same exact bit. 6 months later, it went up by, what is that? $6, 30%. I think that's quite ridiculous, and that's true with all these. But these are the consumables on the CNC. But yeah, I got all kinds of interesting stuff. Mistakes. Hopefully you can see that. I'll put it down here. Actually, you can probably really see it if I turn it that way. Pretty interesting stuff. But I like to say you got to embrace your mistakes. That's how I learn. Didn't clean up after myself either. That's not good. But if we move over here and see what I've been working on, this is one thing I've been working on. You can't quite see what it is. I think I was showing you this last time, not last time, but the last shop update. Now I have black over everything, and so I got to take all the masking off. I'll take this off because I want to show you something that I'm not too excited about, and I figured out why. Again, embrace your mistakes. Not all about being perfect. I'm going to put this on macro mode, so forgive me if it moves. Hopefully you can see how jagged that is. See how jagged that is? It looks terrible. Now if I go over here and bring this one over here, exact same lettering, not the same letters, but the same concept. You can see this one looks correct. So what exactly happened? I tell you, I noodled on this one for quite a while. And I realized I programmed this to use a 90-degree V-bit, which means that it's a router bit that actually is the carbide's at a 90 degrees. But I put in the router the 60-degree V-bit, which I think is just the craziest thing. So, didn't turn out very good. But yeah, you got all this aura mask I got to take off now and then sand it. And I'll see if I can actually get it to look good enough to put on my wall in the shop. My wall of shame. Just joking about the shame part. But here was my first attempt at doing this. And I bet you never guessed what I did wrong on this one. This one, I had the board set to, I think 15 by 15. But I didn't cut the board at 15 by 15. That's pretty crazy. And then this is why I do prototypes with MDF, real cheaper wood. It's actually glued together fiber. But you can see here, I'm making a new whiskey smoker I was telling you about. I'll show you the finished one over here in a second. But this is actually, either this is too thick, this part, or this isn't deep enough. But I make a prototype out of MDF. Like here's another. I was trying to figure out exactly how I want to do the pocket to hold the cribbage board pegs. So I did that out of MDF. And here's something that's going to be new for next year. I got this from Ziggs Woodworking, I think. I didn't design this. I just paid for it for like $3 you can buy off of Etsy or different places, CNC files. But this is going to be a breadboard and a breadboard cutter. So you put a a knife in here, or not a knife, but it almost looks like a hacksaw blade and lets you cut. But what I want to do is, this is going to be a bugger to finish, because these are actually, walls of this are straight up and down. So this is just like a 1/4 inch groove. And I want to make it so they're like this, so it's easier to sand. Because this, I would have had this last year, but that'd be a bugger. So I'm gonna do that. Whiskey smoker. Here is my new and improved one. Here's the one that actually I put them in these bags. They sell pretty good. Dump it out one-handed. So this is what I sell. This is what I was telling you about on the engraving video, that this is what it looks like when you do it on a CNC. And I didn't color those in with the flame. Here's what it looks like when I do it on the engraver. I still do the flame that way, but then I have a little insert for the screen, and that keeps the shavings from going down in. And what I do is I sell these actually just like this. I have a little instructions on how it works. And again, trying to do things one-handed, not working out too good. But I have a little instructions so people know how to do it. And then I give people 2 of these shavings. I'm gonna open one up here for you. Well, maybe not. Well, you just have to trust me. It's wood shavings inside here. You can see it's oak and maple. And then for $5 extra, I'll sell you 2 of these are 1 ounce tins, and these are 2 ounce tins. But this year I'm going to make them round like this, and then laser engrave everything. No flame, everything will be laser engraved. And then I made these, another thing I bought. I'll give you a guess at what this is. Post in the comments if you actually know what it is. But I'll tell you what it is. It's actually a coffee scoop. So this actually is for your coffee bag. You can, almost like a clasp, and then you can use this to scoop out the coffee. And this is made out of bamboo, believe it or not. It's called Bamex. Pretty cool stuff, really hard. I might have shown this before, but this is what sells like hotcakes. It's actually, again, a prototype made out of MDF. But I make these out of cherry, walnut, different kinds of wood. And you round them over, sand out the inside, and then finish them with mineral oil. Well, food grade mineral oil, which is really important. But since it's going to have contact with food, you got to do that. What else? I think that's it in terms of what I got going on right now. Like I said in my last video, I don't have a lot of time in the summers. Get pretty busy, like I'm getting ready to go on a trip with my grandson up to a lake. Normally my wife would go with me, but my wife's uncle passed away, unfortunately. Rest in peace. Let's see, what is coming up though? I actually am going to start making things like these, getting ready for craft show season, and this as well. I like to actually, the breadboard, I'd like to redesign that. So it actually, like I said, it's easier to finish. I am going to figure out sign making. Got to do that. Thank you very much for watching. I'm Steve. This is Curious Kicks. And if you liked what you see, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next video.